Hey folks, welcome back to the Dev Channel. This is Begin16 here, and today I'm going to go over the latest update of Knightlordian RPG. Now, judging from the title, yes, the third part of the rework, aka the part where Speedstonpia was added, has finally been released. It took about 2 months for this to complete, and it was kind of a bit. But basically, this rework adds quite a bit of stuff. I think I have. Let me actually go grab the game update log real quick and show you guys what we got here. We got a bit of things to go over with. A lot of things haven't changed and revamped and all that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much like all the other parts except in Speedstonpia and not Warritown or all that stuff. So yeah. Anyways, that being said, let's get right into it. Anyways, if you guys want to take a look at the game by yourself, be sure to take a look at the link down below. And yeah, let's get to it. Let's start things off with the first part, which is Let's start things off with the mobs. The mobs basically, the mobs will now just pretty much attack you like usual. I mean, this is how it is. Actually, yeah. I originally called this let's start spawn area. I originally called this area the spawn, like the Speedston Core Hall or something like that. How I decided to combine all the three areas into just one giant area called the Speedston Hideaway. And this is the first part of it, which is just called Speedston Hideaway. And then here's the second part, which is the Speedston Core Hall, or well, the Speedston Hideaway Core Hall. Kind of accidentally called that. Yeah, you can see right there. Anyways, so that's pretty cool. And then, last but not least, No Man's Land. It was originally called Speedston Forest. Okay, I might have to fix that soon. But it's meant to be called No Man's Land. So yeah, accidental. I'm kind of effed that up, but hey, it's whatever. We all make mistakes. But yeah, it has had its red tint glow like it always has back then. So yeah, pretty cool. This has been revamped back in like 2024. When I was reworking when I was reworking Trojanville. When I was revamping with some of the Trojanville maps back in that time, like in March, I think of that year. And yeah, I decided, and it's funny because we're now a year later, we're now reworking Empire 4 and stuff, and the reworks are all around here, so pretty cool. Time flies. Anyways, that's pretty much Empire. That's pretty much the spawn point. Now let's go ahead and go into Portal Room because Portal Room we have a bit of stuff here to go over. We got a lot of reworks too. Some of you may notice that we got a few new things here. For example, this place that used to be called Speedston City now it's called Rustel City, and most of these, and I find I'll just go over some of the highlights of the Empire 4 rework. So let's just start things off with Rustel City, since I think this is probably my favorites. So originally it used to look like Speedston City used to look something that was just, I don't know, man. It didn't look like a city. It just didn't, honestly. Like, it just looked like something that it just looked like some type of sandcastle, and that's pretty much all about it, honestly. It just looked like that, honestly. Like, it felt like the sand was just built by itself and stuff. So it didn't really look like a city, and here we are now, and it looks more like a city now. As you can tell, we got the wires, the campfires, that rhymes, the lights, the road close sign, buildings, dumpsters, dumpster fires, and bushes. You get the point, and yeah. So that's pretty cool. Now that's about it for the Rustel City. Pretty cool place, I guess. So I also did replace the Rustel City boss, or mega boss. It was originally like some type of weird zombie cyborg slayer or something like that. How now it's just a city scavenger, which I feel like it fits with the game. It fits with the map a lot better, honestly. I didn't revamp Sandman itself, fortunately. I know a lot of people are probably have been wanting me to do because it looks so similar to Speedston Forest, now called Speedston No Man's Land. So yeah. So now let's look at the Deadlands though. Speedston Deadlands looks a lot more better in my opinion, at least from what I can tell. And okay, yeah. So Speedston Temple looks Speedston Deadlands looks a lot better, honestly. The skeletons now look like actual skeletons that you'll see somewhere else. And yeah, there's also another part of this rework that I also added. So originally the range of mobs wouldn't they would shoot, they would have a fire sound, but they wouldn't have hit sound. So I decided to add that and fix that. So pretty cool. That's a bit delayed. Yeah, I haven't made aware of this recently. The game kind of lags a bit when you get into Speedstopia. That's kind of normal because the game as a whole, that area as a whole is pretty big. So yeah, You also got these elite skeletal sort of skeletal people. Sorry, elite sand skeletons and stuff. And then we got the overheated beast, the man himself. Originally he was just a skull person. That pretty much was it. And I kind of added some smoke and some fire on him. And have you made notice that there's also some smoke? He also does have smoke a bit coming out of it. It kind of goes up, but you'll see it at some point. But yeah, that's pretty much the overheated beast for you. It's gonna come just for fun of it. And yeah. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now, moving on to the next area. Let's hop right into another area I kind of felt like I enjoyed making. Speedston Ruins. It originally had cyborg soldiers, and a cyborg giant, and that was about it. How, though, as you can tell, I kind of changed it up a bit. I kind of went with a Bloodborne cyborg and a Bloodborne cyborg rebel. So, yeah, take it or leave it, but I'd say it looks a lot better, so... Seven Exterminator still is the boss around here. I believe he spawns on that place, if I'm correct. I might be wrong, but I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it too. So, anyways, and then there's the Cyborg Rebel. Or the wait, on. What the hell is that all about? That's a little weird because that's not normal. I'm guessing that. Let me take a look at something real quick. Okay, so I might be having a bit of trouble here with, I might have had a little bit of trouble with that. Okay, I'll fix that a little later, but I've had a lot of people come to me saying there was something's wrong with the place and stuff, so, yeah. But basically there have been a lot of bugs with this recently because of how big the game has gone. Basically, like, such mobs would sometimes, not have their name show up on there, and it kind of got annoying, and same with the portals too, apparently. So that's something I would have to look at. I think I might know the issue on that, but for now we're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, anyways, Radiant Brain Dunes and Speedston Hills haven't had a revamp. Speedston Temple, Area 41, not really had a revamp, but I could probably show something in Area 41. So Area 41 is this one right here. So basically, the new thing that you might not notice this at first, but you'll see that we have a lot more bigger walls, and the aliens are now ranged, which is funny enough. Yeah, so clearly you can tell that they're more ranged and all that stuff. So also, I forgot to actually show off the audio, but here's what they look like. So pretty cool, and yeah, they do have a chance of criticking you or critical hit you and stuff, so do be wary of that, honestly. I only add that just because I feel like the variety. I feel like I add that because like the mobs doing 1 damage at a time is so expected. It's just like kind of want something more different. So yeah, and also we got the Rustel leader. He originally had a saber, but he now has a Grimgold Pergastron. Pretty cool, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, next up, let's move on to the Hellfire Factory. Hellfire Factory has probably one of the best revamps so far, at least in terms of inside areas. So yeah, we still have the factory cyborgs, but the best part about this is like we get lava. We also got conveyors that actually make it sound stuff. It might get a little annoying from time to time, but looking at it from my point of view, I'd say it's pretty much what a factory is. It's loud and industrial. So yeah, pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, anyways, that's about it. And then we also got Temmie, who was the original boss, but he's still here, but she's been renamed to Azbeth, as Temmie Swag, or as Temmers wanted me to change the name to. And yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's just go and kill him just for fun of it. And yeah, his sword's still pretty much the same, honestly. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, moving on to the next area is let's see here. Speed and Warzone's technically the same. Speedston Oasis kind of the same. Flingo Crater. I kind of did redo the mobs bit, so I guess I'll show you guys that too. So, yeah, these guys now don't look as bland anymore, and now have like some light coming out there, like that T on their helmet and stuff. So pretty cool, honestly. So, yeah, I'd say it was worth it, honestly. So yeah, hope he's dead. Oh, the bro just attacked me in the air and die. Wow, that's funny. But yeah, that's the Speedston, or that's the Flingo Crater. Flingo King also had a revamp, but it's not really that big. It's not really that big of a deal. Silica Orlands has no revamp. Actually, there was a mob change at one point. I feel like I should probably show it off because I feel like I kind of like it. But this is you guys might remember there was originally a guy with a huge eyeball and just normal normal look of an outfit and normal look of a typical mod that had neon, spam, and all that stuff. Well, this is him now. I mean, sure, he does some spam on there, but it's not as bad as it was earlier. But basically, this is now the Silk Side Overseer, or Silk Slide Overseer. So yeah, pretty cool. The Dominus, I decided to go with a Dominus feel for it, and I kind of made the eyes as the buns, and the eyes as a hood too. So it's pretty cool, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much the Flame Gold. No, sorry, not Flame Gold Overseer. I was thinking Flame Gold Overseer sword. That's pretty much the Silk Side of the place, so that's pretty cool. Let's move on to Trash Pack Junkyard. Yeah, there's nothing really new there. Azarain Bay, okay. Now, there really isn't really much change here except for the atmosphere. So you notice that everything looks a bit more darker. There used to be like a yellow area, but now it's green because of the new atmospheres that was added with EJ's kit system, or RPG system, so must say they did really well with that, so yeah. Anyways, so the puddles, so the acid rain... So the acid puddle monsters now have a lot more, now have like a goo on them, so that's pretty cool, I guess, so there's that. Then there's of course, the acid liquid Spartan, who of course has been around for the longest time, who at one point was a grinder, and yeah, you can take a look at it in the lore, honestly, but yeah, that's the lore for him, I guess, so yeah. Yeah, oh, okay. And then there's also the Acid Group Giant. He still spawns here. He just spawns on that tree that I showed earlier, so that's pretty cool. He does spawn that rock anymore because I'm not sure why, but I feel like having it spawn a rock was... Why did I think that was a good idea? I'm not sure, but I kind of wanted to go for something more different, and I went with, you know, the typical... I went with him being on top of a tree. So yeah, well, not on top of a tree, but near a tree. So yeah. It was next up is the Paleform Road. Paleform Road, it is probably one of the more area. This is one area that I wish I had revamped, honestly, but I really didn't. I kind of didn't know how to. I kind of forgot. So yeah. But anyways, we got this just called Barbarians. They look a lot more barbaric because of like the gloves and shit. I kind of like it. It's like the smallest details can really make a build look a lot better, honestly. So. Or, I'm not saying these guys, I'm not, okay, that might be a little racist to these guys, because I just call these guys builds when they're either their mobs, but hey, I mean, at the same time, I guess you gotta build a mob in order to make a game, so, I'm not sure, it's weird. Anyways, these are the Stitch Core Barbarians, and, yeah, so, pretty cool. Also, you may notice that I did change the sound a bit for the drop SFX and level up SFX. Actually, I think I had SFX for level up for a long time in there. I've kept it that way. But then we got ourselves the... Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix that glitch. I think I might... I know I might have an idea on what the hell's causing that bug, but it's just not... It's a pain in the ass to deal with. But this is Speedstonpia. Oh my god. The Heat Executioner, and oh my god, what the fuck are you doing? Okay. I think this has to do with these things. I do not like these, I don't like these roads, honestly. These brick roads just don't really look too well to me, honestly. I feel like they get them better. But then again, I mean, we all have to start somewhere, so yeah. Anyways, that's the Paleform Road for you. Next up is the Speedston Lava King. This one was originally made by Air, one of the developers for RPG Journeys 2, I think I'm correct. You guys might remember that from back in 2022, if you are an OG. But basically, he was one of the developers there, and he made this area. It really wasn't the best at the time, but I decided to redo a couple things. I decided to make the walls higher. Let's see here. I also decided to change these guys a bit. They originally, they still do have the bombastic style of their hair and stuff, but they look a lot more better, and they have a bit more of a Lava Seeker vibe to it. So yeah, that's that for you. So next up, I think is, oh yeah, then there's the bombastic Flintstocks. He was originally the bombastic Flintstocks, but changed into the bombastic Spearlord because. Oh my god, I'm not sure why, but when I was naming Bombastic Flamestocks, I was like, what the I'm not sure why I was thinking when I was naming Bombastic Flamestocks, because that was a weird-ass name. It felt like something you would see on like a weird comedy scare or something like that, I don't know. But anyways, Bombastic Spearlord was the name I went with, and it looks a lot better than it does originally. Okay, it might not look the best, but it does look a lot better than what it originally was, but I might change a few things with it in an upcoming patch or something like that. So, yeah, that's that for you. Now, moving on is let's see here. Okay, moving on, and we got ourselves, let's see. So, Calamity Ruins. Okay, Calamity Ruins isn't really changed that much. The only thing I really revamped, okay, actually, on second thought, maybe we didn't revamp. Okay, yeah, I didn't revamp the fun this area, but the only thing I really did revamp was the Eden raft, but that's about it, honestly. So take it or leave it, but that's pretty much what I revamped so far. Now, moving on to is the next thing we're moving on to, I believe, is Goldthorn Desert. Yeah, Goldthorn Desert. Goldthorn Desert was an absolute atrocious area for me to look at. Unless you're, but then again, there's also that one area called Nether Temple Grounds. I had nightmares about that area because it just didn't look too well. But anyways, these are the Cyber. They look a lot more better. They have like fire coming out of there, come out of there like bandages and shit. But yeah, you also notice that the actual torso itself, isn't seeable. Like you can see through the torso, which is pretty cool, honestly. So yeah. There's also the Goldthorn Desert as well. Oh no, the Goldthorn Thero, if I'm correct. Yeah. So he didn't really have much of a change too. He just had like a usual revamp that like the usual mobs have. But yeah, he does look a lot better. I also did add the roof because I feel like the roof makes it look a lot better, honestly. Even though it doesn't look like a pyramid anymore, I still think it looks a lot better than it was originally. So yeah. Now that's pretty much the Goldthorn Desert. Let's move on to Blood Boil Forest. Okay, Blood Boil Forest I didn't really redo any changes to, so I'm gonna remove that. So I'm just gonna skip that for now. But if you guys want to have a look at the areas then you can take a look at it. But Duststorm Trench, it doesn't really have a rework, but I did add some dust to it. So basically, like it's like a sandstorm type of trench area. So yeah, there used to be like these guys used to be like Hell Chasers or something, like a Duststorm Hell Chaser or something like that. And all that stuff. And I just felt like that was really, I just didn't really like it, so I went with a bit more of a Survivor type of area. So this is what we got, Duststorm Survivor. So it's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that at some point because I don't like that, honestly. Yeah, the lag is it's kind of crazy. I would have not lagged. I would have fixed it if I had to, if I could. But I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out the ways to prevent it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like that pretty much comes up. That lag just how games work, I guess. I don't know. Lag is difficult to work with. So, but nonetheless, I'd say it's good nonetheless. So yeah. Anyways, that's the Duststorm Survivor. So. Next, and then we got the Duststorm Demon, which originally looked like, oh my god, do I even dare to say it? It looked like some weird Mr. Krabs ripoff, and it looked like all that stuff. So I went with a bit more of a steampunk type guy. He has a trident. He also has a weird tail, like a lizard tail, cybernetic lizard tail, and the helmet he has is pretty interesting too. It's pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much Duststorm Demon for you. So yeah. Next up, I think is okay. So we're kind of getting out of the bad areas, but we do have a few more areas to work with here. But Hauntful Grove is just the same area with the haunts, with the Hollow Knights and stuff. Bannermore Wasteland, typical same stuff. Enchantex Forest, okay. Enchantex Forest, Dead Coal Mines, and Coal do have a bit of an atmosphere change. I will show that, I guess. So. Yeah, so you will notice that it looks a lot more space-like because Core Blocks is kind of dead, I guess. Not saying like its theme is undead. I feel like it would make for pretty cool like dead space type area. So that's why I went with that. And Dead Coal Mines continues this trend with its look. Well, okay, the look wasn't revamped, but the atmosphere does change a bit about it. So I will admit that. I will say I do want to revamp most of the areas here at some point. There is a kind of it. And oh my god, the Tree of the Unearthly just spawned. Holy shit, bro. Okay. Let me actually go ahead and okay. I'm just gonna so yeah, that's and then there's also a boss right here too. He's been renamed too. But I'm just gonna showcase that real quick and then I'll go ahead and move to skip ahead to the Unearthly Olden Grounds. Because it's what the fuck? Okay, fair enough. I'm not sure what that was all about, but alright. But yeah, that's a bug. Okay, I'm really going to fix that because that is something I do not like. I'm sure not anyone else likes that. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to a bit. Hellfire Forest wasn't really revamped. The Snob is removed and it was replaced with a Banshee. Nether Temple Grounds has a bit more of a was revamped. Under 5 fields, not really. Quick mud hillslide, no. But Off the Olden Grounds was revamped. But actually, now that we're here, we'll just go to Off the Olden Grounds to showcase what we have here. And oh my god, this is probably my favorite revamped I've made so far, without doubt. Mainly because of the whispers. The whispers now like whisper when you're close to them, which I find it's so eerie and I love it. That's what the Olden Grounds was really meant to be, honestly. You know, that just gives out a lot more of a better idea. And here he is, the man himself, the wise mystical tree. Oh my god, this guy. I originally made him because he at one point had like he was me at one point, and I was like, he would actually make for a pretty cool area. He would actually make for a pretty cool boss. So here we go. So yeah, I actually might redo him a bit because I mean it looks a lot better. But yeah, but that's the wise tree of the unearthly. I think I got the badge right, but I don't know. Anyways, that's that. There's the unearthly whisper and all that stuff. So yeah, pretty cool area. I think I like that. It's probably my favorite area so far. But let's get back on track to Netherwork Temple Grounds. Netherwork Temple Grounds does have its own area too. It has revamped, so it no longer looks like a square. It's more so. It looks a lot better than how I anticipate, but probably not like one of my favorite areas, favorite events. But I will say it looks a lot better than it originally was. But yeah, anyway, we got ourselves some more skeletons. As you can tell here, I'm just gonna kill these guys real quick. There we go. Alright, and we'll just kill there once more, and yeah, pretty much you get the point. So yeah, so far the skeletons. So basically, as you may notice this already, but all the skeletons now have looks of like actual skeletons instead of like blocky ass skeletons. Basically typical mobs that don't look that actually have. Basically, blocky mobs that have a skeleton head. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, that's that. Now moving on to I think, let's see here. The Unidentified Fields does have a few revamps too, but the only revamp we did have is the mobs. I will say though, the aliens in this area do have the same amount. Do act like the mobs in the Area 41 area, so that's all I'm going to point out for now. Quick mud hillslide, nothing really much has changed there. Typical bandit stuff and all that stuff, so nothing has changed there. Earth of the Olden Grounds, not real. I already went over that, so you don't have to see it. But Mudbow Valleyway is probably one of the best revamps I've had so far. Or the Mudbow Valley is probably one of the best revamps we've seen so far. Mainly because of the boss. I'm just gonna point this out there. Spaceman, if you're watching this, wanted to say you did really well. For those who don't know, Spaceman is a person that has helped with Knightlordian's revamp before, and he's done such things such as like revamping. He's revamped Obsidian many times. He's revamped Dragoon. If you saw that the first video I did on the rework, you saw that Dragoon had a huge change. However, though, since then he's been getting a lot better, and I must say there's a lot to talk about here when it comes to Dragoon, or when it comes to the new boss here. Now I will say one thing though. Unfortunately, unfortunately, Faldias and Mudmius and also Rakodias do not show up here anymore. Unfortunately, because I don't know. I couldn't find a way to fit them in the game, so I decided to move them on. The originals are still in like Empire 2 and 1, but they're not like they don't return here. So, anyways, this is Mudu, the Mud Avenger. So I'm gonna show you guys this guy's rework. This guy's cool abilities. So yeah. Anyways, I will admit though one thing. Be careful because if you guys do have sensitivity on, I will admit you guys are gonna have to be prepared because. Yeah, you can clearly tell the sensitivity on this thing is crazy because I'm not moving my camera at all. This is me not moving the camera. And he somehow managed to find a way to absolutely make. Oh my god. But yeah, that's pretty much Mudu for you. So Mudu has one art ability too, which we'll showcase here. Or maybe not. That's not good. I'm gonna have to allow a look at that too, but there usually would be like shockwave and all that stuff. There will be a shockwave, and then so basically there will be like a shockwave pretty much, and like the shockwave will just shake the camera a bit. So yeah, that's interesting. So there's that. But yeah. Now that that's all with, that's Mudu for you. So Mudu looks a lot better, I think, and I think it fits well with being more than the two bosses. I really didn't want to have to delete the three bosses, but they've been during the game already, so it wouldn't matter. So, anyways, Rex 2 Air Base is the next one. Now, Rex Air Base doesn't have a revamp, honestly, per se. I kind of was like, fuck it, I'm not sure what to do here. So I kind of deleted some of the Rexu Air Raven soldiers a bit, and like I deleted some of them, and specifically in this area because this area was packed with them. Like there's one here, one here, one here, and all that stuff, and it just wouldn't fit with the area. It just didn't fit well. So I decided to remove that, and now we have Rex himself, the Hunter, the Poisonous Acid. Yeah, he didn't have much of a change apart from his typical boss sound, I guess. But yeah, anyways, that's that. Now moving on to the final part of this part of the rework. Before we move on to Warritown, because I know Warritown's rework was I think a couple of months ago, and I didn't really showcase that, but I'm not going to showcase it because I don't have time. But if I have time, I will showcase that too, maybe at some point. But like for now, we're gonna crap. Okay, sorry, I accidentally went to the stronghold. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that we have a lot of. We're going to go to Speedston Hell Valley, which is the second last area in the game in Speedstonpia. So let's just showcase what we got here. So we got ourselves the cyborgs. You know, typical cyborgs as usual. I mean, no shit. So, but anyways, these are the cyborgs, and as you can tell, there's really not much going on here right now, honestly. But basically, I'm just gonna do. Oh, what the? Come on. Okay, there it goes. So yeah, the Speedo cyborgs don't have really changed much. This guy spawned. Hello, buddy. Okay, I think his shoes are not welded to him. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that too. Yeah, a lot of bugs in this game version. I mean, bugs come here and there. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of cyborgs. I may have to remove some of them. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one. Because that's just too many cyborgs, honestly. Like, I mean, not sure. I don't really like how they're placed, honestly, because there's like too many of them. But anyways, that's oh my god, look how many fucking speed hell armors I have. Jesus Christ. Okay. Also, I will mention one thing, guys. In case you guys are getting tired of having to deal with all this shit in your inventory, you can now sell all your stuff for gold, which is honestly like really cool. Like, so that's pretty much that. Now, next up, last but not least, we're moving on to is the Speedston Hell, or the Speedston Stronghold. So yeah, so we had a couple mob changes here too. So the mobs here originally like Speedston guards, which are just like a retexture of the original of the corrupted outsiders from the Phantom War Wasteland. I don't like it so much. I hate it, honestly. I wish I'd done better. And now I came to bear it with bastions, which are basically strong. Which when I was kind of searching up like with names of stronghold guards, and Bastion came up, and I was like, I might as well go for it. So yeah. So these are Speedston bastions and all that stuff. So pretty cool. Now next up is the Speedston Watchers, which they kind of watch the whole entire stronghold, I guess. So pretty cool. And then there's a lava as usual. And then we got ourselves the boss areas that I talked about last time. These were added a long time ago, but basically they now have like their own boss areas and stuff. This was like just a long time ago, but I decided to like to make them a little bit more better with the keys and stuff. To tell you that you got the required keys in order to fight the final boss. So we're gonna fight the final boss, and here we go. So this is the final boss, Speedston himself. Speedston is still rigged as always, and I mean compared to the usual, but he does. But with the amount of speed you have, you shouldn't be able to take you as much. But still poses a big challenge. If you guys are having difficulty with him, I would recommend you take out the last boss of. I recommend you take out the last Empire, which is the Death Wisher. So, yeah, we're actually gonna do that right now. Actually, that way now we get that with. Like, now show you the super bosses. Super bosses are typical. Or we got this. No, super bosses haven't really changed much apart from their looks. So I guess we'll go ahead and go over this. So we got the King's Knight. He hasn't had much of a change except for he has no new cape, I guess. So. The next up we got is a Hellfire Commandatron or some shit like that. So, yeah, I forgot to put Rework his era. My bad. Then we got the the Atomic Spartan. Yeah, the Atomic Spartan is over here too. So that's pretty cool, I guess. And let's move on to the Atomic Crusader, and there you go. Here he is right here. Let's finish this guy up, and boom, he's down. Alright, so yeah, you get the point. So then we also got ourselves the Silky Terror, the Flame Gold Summoner, VNX Crythum. Yep, sorry, I know I had to. I mean, I'm not sure why. I feel like they could have. I don't know. I think the story was that I was born and didn't have an idea, so I decided these two. So oh well. Then we got Called Lust, and of course the guy. Well, okay, and of course the Death Wisher. So Death Wisher, of course, and all that stuff. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Some typical bosses that you've seen before in this game. If you guys have RN OGs, but if not, then that's oh well, that's whatever I guess. So yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much the Empire Core. So let's go. I'm gonna move to Empire 3 to show you what's new in Empire 3 because there are a few things new in Empire 3. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're finally here in Empire 3. So yeah, Empire 3 doesn't have much any changes in this update. They do have. I might make a separate update log for it too, but until then, we're pretty much here. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get started. Anyways, there are two new changes with Warritown. But basically, I'll start things off with Bladetz. Bladetz has 2 new abilities. And I pretty much the same with and it pretty much has been this was made by I think NM Hero, if I'm correct. Yeah, I mean I don't think I know because I was the one that asked him to make something for it, and he did offer something, and I was like, if you want to make something, then I recommend you make stuff for Bladetz, and here we are now. Yeah. Oh wait, I just realized. Wait, did he just die? Did I just kill him without realizing it? Huh. Okay, it's crazy. Okay. Well, anyways, that's that. Anyways, Bladetz has 2 new abilities. And hopefully it'll be nice enough to show both of them, if I'm correct. So here goes. Let's see what we got here. So, all right. So this first one is basically him using his sword to attack, to shoot out projectiles and shit. So kind of basic ability, honestly. I mean, Bladetz is not really like the TLDR is that he just saved a rebellion and he uses his abilities that he has done. And he also got the attack. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's the Bling Rails Claymore. So that's pretty cool. Now moving on to the next boss, which I think is probably one of the coolest bosses Knightlordian has seen so far. And this guy was made by, and this is Excalthar's revamp. Excalthar looks, oh my god, he is a true threat, honestly. Like, oh my god, I swear to god, I'm not sure if anyone has ever tried to beat him yet, but if they do, but if it's rigged, we may have to revamp it a bit. But basically, Spaceman, after he did Voodoo, he decided to revamp Excalthar, and I was like, okay, let's see what you want, let's see what we have, and oh my god, it is a pain in the ass to deal with. I can imagine how much of a pain it's hard to deal with. So this is Goldthorn right here, and yeah, so this is his first ability. It's just him slowing down, like it usually is with, like you usually see with typical people like Ancients and who else is for? I don't know, but yeah. And then there's also there's also Velpor too. Then that's his other ability. And then that's his other ability that basically steals health from you. That one. Twist thing, I guess. So yeah, and then there's one more ability that actually beats all of them. It would be one to beat as a show up, but he probably may not to, may want to, probably save a surprise maybe. But I don't know. Oh my god! Holy shit! Yeah, the amount of projectiles this guy uses is crazy. Here it is. So basically, he uses this. He says, "Give me your power," and oh my god. This is what he's been working on for the past 4 hours. Oh my god. So basically he summons projectiles and summons beams at the same time for a couple waves and stuff. And yeah, it does like up the game a bit, I will admit. And as you can clearly tell. So if you guys are fortunate enough to have him pick this ability, then rest in peace. Because that's not all of it, because there's also one other thing too he does. This is phase 2 of his ability. Oh my fucking god! Looking at it, even looking at it now is horrifying. Like, oh my god! But yeah, you got these orbs that shoot at that come out of nowhere and then just it's crazy. It's oh my, it's insanity how much progress, how much he did with this ability. I think it might work too much on his ability, but oh my god, I was shocked, honestly. I was debating on the to the game, but it was just too cool to not remove. And yeah, that's pretty much his ability, which is just honestly just amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much that, honestly. So yeah. is there anything else I'd like to showcase? Not really, honestly. I mean, apart from that, I mean, there's really nothing else to talk. I really have to come and think about. But yeah, I think it's probably gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you guys do like this update and want to see, you're excited to see part 4, yeah, part 4 of the Rework, then please let us know. And also, I just want to thank Spaceman, thank my girlfriend for so many ideas, such as the Hellfire Banshee, and I also like to thank Adam Hero for helping with the for helping out with Bladetz's rework, and also some people who actually found bugs in the original game and had to add a patch. Apparently that patch wasn't enough, and I might have to make another one soon. So yeah, but yeah, special thanks to everyone who's been helping out with Rework recently. I mean, or who has been. I wouldn't really say helping out, but also like giving ideas and stuff, and just giving feedback. So okay, well, I guess you could say they've been helping out, honestly. But. And I love. I'm not sure. It's crazy to think how far this game has come since its beginning. So, yeah, I'm getting a little too over ahead of myself. I would talk more about this stuff, but you get the point. The update is pretty damn big and all that stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoying this beginning now. And yeah, have a good one. Oh yeah, and also before I actually end off, I kind of want to say Empire 2, Empire 5, and 6 are going to be in the same part. Yes, the last part and part 4 is going to include Empire 5 and 6 due to how small both of them are. Both of them have less than 20 worlds, and we're just going to do that. So, yeah. Alright, now this is it. So, have a good one, guys.